If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. So this really just happened. Travis Scott is dropping some new music. He just announced it. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at all the different details we got in the announcement. This also proves a theory that I've been telling y'all for the longest time now. So let's jump straight into it and see what just happened. So Travis Scott, we know that he's about to drop something. We know that there is a dystopia, utopia, something like that coming. He, teased at a dystopia project for a very long time, and that utopia project is, of course, something that's been in the talks ever since Astroworld dropped. And if you've watched my previous videos on utopia, dystopia, then you know that I have this theory that we're gonna get dystopia on November 5th. And when you look at the calendar, November 5th is tomorrow on Friday, which is also my birthday, by the way. And I was a little bit confused because y'all know that I really thought that we were going to get this thing on November 5th because this is also the day that Astrofest starts. And it would just make sense for Travis to drop something when his festival starts, that would be like the best promotion for the whole thing. Now, this didn't happen until now, and I thought that seriously, we're not going to get this, maybe as a surprise drop, maybe a single surprise drop, and we don't know if this is actually the whole album yet or just a single, but let's actually, let's stop all the talk and let's look at what we got so far in terms of, announcements and teasers. So Travis Scott took to social media, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, to post a picture that we're going to talk about in a second, and then also with the caption, "F it, let's start it up. New music at midnight." So midnight, of course, being November 5th, so that Friday that I was talking about for the longest time. He also said, "Let's start it up." And there are two things that, this might mean. First of all, the first thing that came to my mind is that we're going to get a single. He's saying like, oh, we're going to start this whole dystopia thing up. And this is like the first single, the first, starting up in the whole process of rolling it out. My second thought, though, which might make more sense, is that he's saying let's start it up with the project Dystopia, which, as we all know, is just the placeholder or like the lead up, the rollout lead up to then Utopia, just like Days Before Rodeo was for the big album Rodeo and Birds in the Trap was for the big album Astroworld. And this could mean that that is now starting up, that process of him releasing Dystopia and then leading up to Utopia, maybe early on next year, maybe summer next year or anything, something like that. That's my, more kind of convincing theory and the theory that I want to stick to more. But let's actually look at this, cover or this announcement that he posted. We don't know if this is the album cover. We just know that this is what he's, used so far to promote it. It says Weekly World Truths. It's looking like a newspaper, front cover. And it says, who knows what lies beneath the surface? We see this kind of, Halloween type of Travis Scott goblin or something along the lines of that, and it says the true dystopia is here. When the end arrives, it's really the beginning. So that, of course, we can get a whole lot of stuff out of this. So the true dystopia is here, directly referencing dystopia, directly referencing the term and the album title that we've had so far, directly saying, oh, this is dystopia. This is here. The true dystopia is here. So there's got to be something with this dystopia. It's almost like no doubt anymore that dystopia will play some kind of role in the Utopia rollout, because some people were still doubting like, oh, he's gonna drop Utopia right away, no leader with Dystopia, but this directly kind of disproves that. Now also that, bottom part, when the end arrives, it's really the beginning. Dystopia, of course, being not a perfect state, that is the opposite, that is utopia, but rather like the worst possible state of the world. That is dystopia. And then the most perfect state that everybody wants to achieve of the world, which is just this perfect paradise, that is utopia. And when he says when the end arrives, it's really the beginning. So when we're gonna get this dystopia tape, that is, maybe conceptually the end because it displays a dystopian society, but in reality, in terms of him releasing music, it is the beginning of then the rollout for dystopia. That is my theory so far. If you have any other thoughts on this, please let me know, because honestly, so far we don't have a lot, we know about this. This is the only thing that Travis has publicly said about Dystopia up to this point. We didn't even know if this was somehow music related, this whole Dystopia concept, or just a movie that he once, previewed the script for on social media. So any more information that you have, maybe you found somewhere else on the internet, please post it in the comments. Please join the Discord server for this channel, our community Discord server, an amazing place for hip-hop fans, and there you can also post and find anything that is music related and also Travis Scott related, so make sure you do that. It's really worth it. Now, of course, we don't know yet if this is actually an album that we're gonna get or just a single. I kind of teased at that earlier on in this video, but this could be the album, as I just went over the evidence for, being like this is the end and now it's going to be the beginning, so dystopia then utopia, but also it could just be a single. But honestly, I do think that this is the album. Otherwise, the hints I went over wouldn't really make sense. Also, I think that, when it's Astroworld, he wants to have something big that he can premiere there and be like, yo, by the way, Dystopia is out now, and people go crazy about that. So I do think it is the album. Also, then, with this post that he now posted, with it being like the true dystopias here, I don't think that he would post that and then just drop a single. But we're gonna get something at midnight. He said there's new music coming at midnight, so we can all be excited for a Travis Scott new project, new single, whatever we're gonna get at midnight, but we're gonna get something at least. And I think that is dope. That means that we're in the process of having this thing actually rolled out to the masses. We're finally getting dystopia, utopia, whatever it might be, whatever the combination and rollout of those might be, it's starting now. And this was something that I predicted for the longest time now, because it just made sense with the Astrofest connection and stuff like that. So we could kind of see it coming, but it's still amazing to then get a real life update on this thing actually coming out and this actually happening. So I'm hyped. I'm fully here for dystopia. I want to wake up tomorrow and have this thing like, out in dystopia, the full release is out, the full album. But it would also be cool with just a single, knowing that's, the whole album is still coming. Maybe as soon as dystopia drops, we're gonna get some more info on utopia. It's all up in the air still, but let's look forward to tomorrow with some new Travis Scott music. All of that is just my opinion, of course. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for dystopia, utopia? Do you think they're somewhat connected? What do you think his rollout plan for the two is? What are your expectations for this? Do you expect a single? Do you expect an album? What's your general thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.